35 miles an hour is the claimed top speed on this ultra long range dual motor electric bike.
Man, this bike is a lot more fun than I was expecting, dude. Woo!
It's called the Wallke H7 all-wheel drive, and today we're gonna review it. MSRP is $1,859, but you can find a discount link below this video in the description box. But do not buy this e-bike just yet. We gotta take it out for a test ride and see how it performs. That'll be my workout for the day. So check it out, here's the little motor. This one has the white frame, and it is a step-through frame that is non-folding. Of course, it's got a big rack on the back, or rather a rear rack that's integrated into the frame, so these can generally hold more weight than just, you know, a rack thrown on there, which is probably why they gave us this passenger seat to install. Typically, e-bikes have a battery installed somewhere here. Kind of puts a lot of weight on the front suspension. The H7 does things a little bit different. They give us a big battery mounted in the center of the bike. This is particularly important when we're talking about a lot of weight, which this is. Although it's not like the biggest battery they make, they have an H9 that's even bigger. And of course, there is a key to remove the battery. So we'll take a look at the specs on this in a moment, but let's take a quick look at that rear hub motor. They say the rear hub motor is a 1,000 watt motor and the front motor is 750 watts. So we're talking about some big power here. And of course there is suspension on the rear in the form of a coil shock. Well, dual coil shocks. So we should be riding in comfort for those longer rides, especially when it's paired with a front shock as well. The front shock does have micro adjustments on the suspension, so you can dial it into your riding preferences. Sometimes the ones that don't have micro adjustments, they'll bottom out on you pretty easily. This one does have the guard on both sides of the chain ring, so the chain won't fall off on you. Well, no promises. It's also got the derailleur guard, so if you knock it over, it's not gonna damage your Shimano tourney derailleur, and there are 7 gears on the rear cassette. But when you're riding this bike, you're probably going to be heavily relying on battery, which is listed as a 48 volt, 40 amp hour, 1920 watt hour battery. That is a big battery, so we should get a lot of range, but we also have a lot of power on tap with those dual motors. Let's get a quick weigh in on this battery. Clocks in at exactly 21 pounds. We'll get a readout on the full weight of this bike soon. And while we're weighing things, why don't we just get a weight on this front wheel too? Weight is gonna be a big factor on this bike. 18.8 pounds on the front wheel entire. So these mag style wheels that don't have spokes, they're gonna weigh a little bit more than a spoke wheel, but you're not ever gonna have broken spokes. Probably a little bit stronger for all the power we're gonna be sending to it. There is a little sticker on there indicating this motor is rated for 750 watts of nominal power. You can definitely take peak bursts more than that. And speaking of weight, you're gonna wanna have some good brakes when it comes time to stop. That's exactly what this bike has. 203 millimeter rotors. I'll show you the pistons in a minute, but they are 4-piston hydraulic brakes. The seat post on this e-bike is 33.9 millimeters, in case you wanna swap it out. It does have a quick release clamp, so you can easily adjust the height. And the actual seat is ultra wide and ultra soft, ultra flat, looks ultra comfy by Wallke. So here is a quick peek at the front hydraulic brakes. We can see they are 4 pistons. One is here, one is here, M4X. They're not a bougie brand, DY Island, but they are 4 piston, which will give more braking power than single piston brakes. Check out the handlebars. How do these go on, bro? I don't know what to do. That'll do it. Heck yeah, dude. These things are already bolted on there. Breaking the rules. I always say, never use a drill. I'm actually racing the sun, man. We're about to run out of sunlight. So up here on the handlebars, I'd imagine it's pretty similar to all the other Wallke bikes. You get a round rubber grip, twist throttle on the right, horn on the right. We'll hear it in a minute. 7 gears on the typical Shimano shifter, hydraulic brakes from DY Island, and a display. What do you know? A display. And over on the left, we get all of our adjustments as well as same round rubber grip. And they are a BMX rider style handlebar, so should make for a comfortable riding position. It's actually kind of like a pearly white color. I like it. So just a few more boxes here, and we do get a plastic fender. What's in here? Here's your headlight. Horn should be on there too. Wallke H7 all-wheel drive owner's manual. So despite this not being a folding bike, they do give us folding pedals, like so. And this must be our charger, probably the same one we've seen on other bikes. Charger has a 5 amp output rate, 54.6 volts is the max charge of 48 volt battery. So this 40 amp hour behemoth charged at 5 amps from completely empty to full would be 40 divided by 5. So it'd be about 8 hours to charge from completely empty to completely full. So putting these front wheels on a dual motor e-bike is always more tedious than a single motor e-bike. Just got a couple extra wires, a little extra extra weight. Oh, this zip tie holding this, this little stop in between the levers up here is actually nice attention to detail. This holds those brake levers from pinching together. If they did, you'd have to bleed your hydraulic brake line and be a big pain in the butt. So never grab your brake lever after you have that out. Well, I mean, until you have your brake rotor in there. Of course, it'll be easier if you remove your battery and if you have a friend. I would not recommend following my example. Gotta get them in there, dude. So we got the whole thing built. Let's see how much it weighs. To grab that metric, I'm gonna weigh myself standing on the scale. I'm sitting at 192.6. And now stepping on the scale, picking up the bike without the battery, I'm at 282.2. That's about 90 pounds without the battery. And then add the weight of the battery on there. There's your weight, bro. So to get the battery on, you gotta take the seat off. Slide it on down, lock it on. And before we power it up, I'll give you an idea of the size of this e-bike. I am 6'5" still. My inseam is still 34. It is a step-through frame, so relatively easy to get on. We are rolling on 20-inch wheels, so it's just a little bit lower to the ground than, you know, like a 26-inch tall bike, 26-inch wheel bike. So with the seat on very minimum, here's what I look like getting on this bike. Nice upright riding position. Obviously, pedal stroke is too low for me. Good little reach on the handlebars. Could tilt those back just a little bit towards you if you want. And I'll go ahead and raise the seat to maximum height. Seat comes up really high on this Wallke H7. So it looks like this bike will fit me decently well. Hopping aboard. Here's what my 34 inseam would look like riding this bike. Pretty decent riding position. Full suspension, all-wheel drive, big power, pretty big battery. Should make for good fun. So this battery does weigh a little bit less than the 60 amp hour battery pack. Ultimately, you don't really want to carry around a heavy battery if you're, you know, not gonna be using it to go super far. This one's pretty reasonable. Let's power this thing on. So you do need to turn this key on to actually activate the spike. And with that key turned on, press that button there. What are we working with on the display? Wallke. Similar to the other Wallke bikes, we get a battery readout in terms of a percentage. Shows us which motor we're running on, so we're on rear. The I button will toggle between your ride time, your odometer, max speed, average speed, the usual suspects. Of course, we get the typical 5 levels of pedal assist. You can turn it completely off if you want. How do we change the motor modes? I forget. Let's hold the I button. Yeah, there we go. So you can do front wheel drive only, or both wheels with the lightning bolt on, or you can hold the I button again, turn off the lightning bolt. I think that gives you a little less power, and then you can hold it and get it straight back to back motor, front motor, dual motor high power, dual motor reasonable power. I review so many e-bikes, I forget what the horn sounds like. What's it sound like? Dyson. If we pull the brake lever, we do get a brake light. If you turn the lights on, it will turn on this light. Wallke has a little custom Wallke light. And with the lights on, if you pull the brake lever, it lights up just a bit brighter. Nice little feature. And I'd imagine this headlight's looking pretty similar to the bigger brother, the H9. Tap the headlight button to turn it off. So let's go give it a rip. All right, dudes, let's take out the Wallke H7 all-wheel drive. Per usual, we'll track our official range on the GPS. We are gonna run a little bit of a different route today, change things up. Let me know what you think. So let's get on out of here. Of course, the very first test we're gonna do on this thing is the 20% grade. We're gonna try single motor only, so just rear wheel drive to start, throw it on pedal assist 5, and throttle only, just the rear motor out of curiosity. We'll put it on dual motor in a minute, but man, this 1000 watt nominal 1600 watt peak, I think, rear hub motor can pull us up just one motor on the rear. So that is a pretty good indication of the power we're gonna be working with on the H7 today. We'll hold that I button down, switch it on over to dual motor, come to a brief stop and full throttle, dual motor. So obviously we're just tearing up this 20% grade, 11 miles an hour. Whoa, speedster, should be a vibe out here today. And on a full charge, let's go ahead and do 0 to 20 acceleration and top speed. Ready, go. A little bit of lag on there. 20. 25. 30 on the onboard, not pedaling at all. 32 on the onboard and 31 on the GPS. So looks like we're gonna top out right around 33.4 on the onboard speedometer, 31 max speed, not pedaling. And I haven't even pedaled this bike yet. Let's just go ahead, switch it on over. Cannot keep up pedaling at all.
at top speed. I feel like I need a turn signal here. So this bike is running the shorter 20 by 4-inch wheels. Kind of gives you a little bit more nimbleness feeling as compared to taller 26-inch wheels. And that step through frame, man, you gotta love it. So it just makes it so easy to get on and off this bike. So I don't think we're gonna be doing too much pedaling today, but we're gonna do a little range test on this thing, maybe run the battery down more than usual, hit some bigger hills, pop in traffic here behind the Volvo. So first thing I'm noticing on this e-bike is, well, it's peppy and it's comfortable. The handlebars are high, wide, the seat is wide, full suspension, and this thing's gonna ride like a motorcycle as far as I'm concerned. But of course, you know, it's got the big 40 amp hour, 48 volt battery, not like the biggest. You could always go for the H9 with the 60 amp hour battery pack if you want 50% more range, but the 40 amp hour battery pack does help keep the weight down. You know, if you're not gonna be going like 100 miles, you don't really need that much. So this should give us some big power for a long time, which you don't have to go fast and burn through that battery super fast. You could slow it down and just kind of, you know, go slower, and you'll get way more use, way more range out of your battery. Oh yeah, let's try some hill climbing here a little bit. We gotta slow down. A little bit of air there. Road closed, flooded. What, we got fenders, bro. And we do have the 4-piston hydraulic brakes, so, oh man, we don't want to get washed away in the river here. Let's give them a try. Feeling pretty nice. Now this is Los Angeles. This probably is not fresh mountain spring water. That's probably straight up sewage. For that reason, I'm gonna turn around and roll back, and we'll whip it around here. Is she gonna walk through that? Brave soul, man. Looks like we got somebody out here doing a little bit of Target shopping. So we're about to go climb a huge hill, but before we do that, let's go ahead and just throw this thing on one motor here. Try out some of the pedal assist modes. So we have this thing on 0. And oh man, let's bump it down to gear 1. So this thing, what's it weigh? I forget, about 100 and some pounds. You don't want to run out of battery necessarily on something like this and have to actually just pedal it all on your own. We go ahead and cruise along here about 4 miles an hour. Let's try mode number 1 now on rear motor only. It is a cadence sensor, and I'm already in top gear of 7, cruising at 15 miles an hour. So you might have to get into the settings there if you want to dial down your pedal assist 1 top speed. This bike likes to go fast is what I'm realizing. Yeah, so that's pedal assist 1, 16, 17 miles an hour, and then pedal assist 2, I'm ghost pedaling. I can't keep up actually tension on the pedals really anymore without kind of going nuts on the pedaling. Pedal assist 3 will bring us on up to 22 miles an hour, ghost pedaling on 1 motor. Then pedal assist 4 is a nice gentle 24, which is actually pretty fast, but this bike's kind of quiet, just chilling, sipping on that lithium ion. And then 5, ghost pedaling. What is that dude doing chilling down there? This thing just, it's pretty gentle on rear motor, just moving along. So you might get a little better range running just 1 motor. I don't know, there's a lot of debate in the comments about that. In my opinion, if you're running 2 motors, you're gonna end up drawing, you know, twice as much power. And I just flipped it on over to front motor only. Let's see what that feels like running front motor. The front motor is lower power. You can kind of feel like it just, oh, you got a little water bottle. Should I try that? What's in there? What is wrong with me? Full throttle, looks like somebody's camping out here in the middle of the street. Well, welcome to Los Angeles. So on pedal assist 5, full throttle, it feels pretty gentle. Quiet front hub motor, pulling about 22 miles an hour, 23 miles an hour. Staying in the draft here nicely. Yeah, actually very gentle on pedal assist 1, front motor only. So if you really want to conserve your power, I feel like you just kind of chug along on 1 motor. I don't know, what do you guys think? And speaking of 1 motor, you can actually buy the H7 all-wheel drive in a single motor setup. So you don't have to go for the dual motor if you don't want to. I think I should be getting off here. If you go for the single motor, we are running single motor up this hill, you'll probably end up getting a lot more range out of your battery because you're not carrying around that rotational mass on the front wheel. So now what we're gonna do is actually climb to the top of this hill behind that tree. It's really freaking tall. It's called the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook, and it is mighty tall. So rolling into the base of the Baldwin Hills Overlook. We'll start off dual motor in the lightning mode on both wheels and just see how this controller and battery and stuff holds up. So this is gonna take an absolute beating, and I'm not pedaling this thing at all going up this hill. This is in a headwind, man. I'm feeling that ocean breeze. We are facing west right now, so the wind generally comes from like the north and the west here. You can see we're gaining some elevation already here, as that's the road we were just on down there. Beverly Hills off in the distance out there. Torturing this beast bike. Cruising just 16 miles an hour, not pedaling this thing at all. Hopefully we don't like burn up the controller or the motors. And as you can see, people do come out here for exercise. So if we wanted to put in a little bit of pedaling, we could be getting some exercise into, maybe get ripped. Wow, this thing is just hauling. Hey, running down is easier than up. I cannot talk. I am not doing anything. Well, I guess technically she probably ran all the way up. Wow, this thing, we are going 1 mile an hour over the speed limit right now on throttle only on an electric bike. Beautiful, green, lush, blue spring day, man. If you're on the fence about getting an e-bike, this is the time of year to get one, man. Whether it's this e-bike or another e-bike on my channel or whatever e-bike you want, man, I'd recommend it, man. It's just so nice getting out in nature, feeling the breeze, feeling the sunshine. Get off the computer every now and then, take your eyes off the screen a little bit, dude. I mean, don't stop watching my videos, but you know, get outside a little bit too. So holy smokes, man, this thing just absolutely ate this hill for breakfast, actually technically lunch, and yeah, dude, it's going strong, bro. Wow, so to give you an idea of the size of the hill we just climbed, look at the views. So front suspension took that bump pretty nicely. Welcome to Smog City, ladies and gentlemen. The ocean, you should be able to see out there. You cannot. Hollywood, you should be able to see. You cannot. But yeah, we were just way down there on the ground. Unfortunately, those little scooters over there, they don't got the power, dude. They just don't got the power. They got to push them up. Man, that's a bummer pushing them up there. I actually don't know my way around here at all. Try this thing off-road a little bit. So it does have the knobby tread. Well, I don't know. Should we? Yeah, screw it. What the heck? So there are some bumps here. Ooh, this may or may not be a good idea. We'll see if the tires hold up. There's some sharp rocks down there. And so I gotta say, man, these 4-piston hydraulic brakes feel great. It's a heavy bike, but you can tell that all of that weight is under control with the brake pads delivering the friction via 4 pistons instead of just 2 like on a normal e-bike. Oh man, I don't know what I'm getting myself into here. Gosh darn it, I totally just dropped my phone. Shattered the glass protector screen. Oh man, it's the price I pay for getting B-roll. I think I got the screen cracked a little bit. Oh nice, I think I see the road over there. Wait a second, that's not a road. So we do have a little bit of washboard. Testing out the suspension here. It's really not bad, honestly. I mean, this is about the harshest riding I think anybody would probably be riding this bike. So I mean, you could equate this to maybe some Midwest pothole-ridden roads after the brutal winter. Man, it's a nice little change of pace riding out here. What do you guys think about the change of route? I know, you know, a lot of people like seeing the bikes put through the same test, same, you know, so if you're comparing one to another, you can really gauge. Oh, there goes a lizard. I did not hit him. At the same time, you know, I don't know, how important is it getting an exact, you know, comparison one to another. Oh, look at that little dinosaur. They're everywhere, man. Maybe this could be like Tallahassee Circuit B, Tallahassee Circuit 2 or something. I've actually never even been over here before. Dismount bikes. So it looks like we have the Mark Ridley Thomas Bridge. Don't want to risk a pinch flag going over that. And this is an uphill bridge that apparently is rusty and has some beautiful plants here on the left, taking us over what I believe is Crenshaw. That road leads on out to Hollywood. Oh, I got a little air right here. Ooh, this is fun, man. Well, I guess we'll continue on here. Entrance fees, $7 for a vehicle. So is this a vehicle or is this a bike? We'll find out. Looks like it's closed. Oh shoot, looks like my phone's about to take another beating. So it looks like we're gonna be running straight back up another hill here. Sorry, battery. Hang in there. Oh, it's not on the frame, it's back there. One thing I like about these batteries that are mounted in the center of the bike is they just kind of handle better than when the battery is mounted up on the front suspension on the front wheel. Conquering this hill, no pedaling. I really haven't pedaled this bike at all. Pulling, 17 mphs. This thing's like 2 horsepower almost, I think. Yeah, no sign of fatigue from the controller, battery, motors, nothing. We'll get a little different perspective of the city over here. Here is a little view of downtown Los Angeles off in the distance there. Might have to come back for another video when it's a little more clear day. Real quick here, let's get a little range update. Looks like we're 35 minutes into this ride, 7.5 miles with no pedaling and crushing it on some hills. Showing 61% on the battery currently. Looks like he's giving it a try. Oh. Wow, that looks like fun. That's awesome. Beautiful little flowers out here. Wow, what a beautiful day, man. Wonder where this goes to. Maybe another little brake test here. These 4-piston brakes are great, man. Can we get out of here? Yes. The answer is yes. Where does this lead? We shall find out. But that is the beauty of getting on an e-bike. You get an e-bike, man. I don't care, dude. If you've been living in the same city for 30 years, if you get an e-bike, you're gonna start exploring and finding new areas, new places you never even knew existed, man. It's such a unique tool to add to your arsenal. You know, obviously, yeah, car's gonna be faster, it can take you more places, more comfortable. But yeah, it's just a whole different experience being on an electric bike, especially when you got a big battery, man. Woo! It looks like these houses have a little bit of a view of the city out here. DTLA off in the distance through the smog. Holy crap, now's the real time for the brake test. We got a FedEx truck turning, we got a Mercedes pulling out in front of us. Oh yeah, dude, these things are great. So front brake is on the right, bicycle setup, back brake on the left. 75% of your stopping power roughly will be on that front tire wheel. So just careful not to grab them too hard, honestly. These brakes are pretty powerful, man. It's actually triggering the G-force thing on my phone. Like it'll light up when there's a change in G-forces. Little nimble 20-inch tall wheels going around the corner. Man, this bike is a lot more fun than I was expecting, dude. Woo! 35 on the downhill. Man, I'm about to overtake the Mercedes. So let's give these brakes a little bit more of a pull here. No! Yeah. So I pulled the back one just a little bit too hard. You can see it kind of locked up the tire there a little bit. Better than locking up the front one though, you know what I mean? And we were just up there on the top of that hill. Well, I'm officially lost and there's no bike lane, so we're just going wide open. So it's always nice to have an e-bike that can kind of keep up with traffic rather than something that goes 20 in the case you're getting yourself caught in positions like this. Back to safety, dude. I'm actually gonna run it on single motor here for a little bit because the dual motor is honestly just like excessive power for like cruising. And then the other thing is your range exponentially goes down. It takes exponentially more power to overcome the wind resistance as you start getting over speeds of like 25 miles an hour. Hey, the other benefit of getting on an e-bike is you don't need to refuel with gasoline. How much is gas for you? At 505 for the cheap stuff. Sitting at about 54%, still pulling strong, 31 miles an hour. Whoa. Dude was just chilling in the bike lane. Woo! Got some oncoming traffic. All right, dudes, got sucked back into our normal riding area here back in Venice. So we've been ripping for about an hour and 11 minutes, 17 miles so far, showing 49% on the battery. Let's go try it on the sand. Let's get on out here, see how it does without pedaling at all, going uphill in the sand just a little bit. Looks like the cops are over here investigating something going on. So at 50% battery in the wide open out here, super soft sand into a headwind. We are going about 6-7 miles an hour, and I'm just gonna pedal a little bit just to kind of help it pick up speed a bit. These are the shorter 20-inch tires, which feels more nimble than a 26-inch tall wheel, and the 20-inch wheel is also way less than a taller 26-inch wheel in general, but they don't quite do as good for running over stuff in general, including, you know, like sand or off-roading trails, whatever. Now this is dual motors, so I mean, we can see it's you know, it's killing it pretty good out here, honestly. And a little bit of downhill. The knobby tread is gripping just fine so far. Hopefully we don't lose control here. I don't know what the IPX rating is on this thing. We will not be taking it in the ocean, I hope not. Let's get away from that and rip it on up this hill. Man, we got, oh my goodness. Oh, I was coming in way hotter than expected there for a second. I thought I was about to eat it. So we are putting this battery to the test today. Full throttle, full throttle. I'm gonna start pedaling just a bit and we're gonna get back on the bike path now. We've been out here for probably about a solid mile of riding. I mean, that's really the benefit of dual motors. So let's see how this battery holds up on range. So we're gonna head on home, check the final range, but first let me share my final thoughts on this electric bike. So in general, you know, it's just a big power, big battery kind of e-bike. I mean, if you want the ultimate big battery e-bike, check the H9 review I did, the Wallke H9. That was an awesome e-bike with an even bigger battery. Obviously, this is pretty much just the same thing, just a slightly smaller battery. Then you get the step-through frame, non-folding e-bike version of it. It's a very comfortable e-bike to be on. I really like the seat. The full suspension is nice to ride on. There is a reason why I chose to, you know, ride this bike for like a longer route, kind of explore some off-road terrain. It's just a comfortable bike to be on. I know it's got the big battery, but not too cumbersome, not too over the top big battery. And then plenty of power to, you know, do all those big hills. Then after doing all of that, take it out on the sand, throttle only. You know, all around pretty awesome electric bike. If you do decide this is the e-bike for you and you want to grab one, if you did buy through the link below this video in the description box, it'll help you get the best price on it, and it would also help support my reviews here on Heavy TV, and I greatly appreciate your support. Let's head on home and see what the final range is. So in my opinion, one of the beauties of these big battery e-bikes is you can just run them at high speed for a long time with little concern for range. Oh, nice Bentley, drop top. But obviously you don't have to run them this hard full throttle. If you go slower, you're gonna get significantly better range than what I'm gonna show you today. Got a little brake test here. We're gonna slam on the brakes from about 20. Oh yeah, it's a little faster than 20, about 22. Oh yeah, solid brakes on this bike, man. All right, dude, just rolling back into the neighborhood here. 23.5 miles, average speed of almost 15 miles an hour, a little faster than usual. Ride time, hour 35 minutes, and it is showing 40% remaining on the battery after all that. Now earlier it was showing in the 30s, but after the voltage sag kind of recovered, it you know, the voltage is in correspondence to the percentage there. Let me turn it off again, turn it back on. So now it says 50% after flipping it off and back on. I mean, 40 amp hours, 48 volt battery, almost 2 kilowatts of energy. Big energy, big power on tap, big range. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, grab this bike, man. I don't think you can really go wrong with this one. It's pretty awesome. I had an absolute blast on this thing today. So if you are gonna buy one, use the link below. Would help support my channel, and I greatly appreciate your support. However, if this is not the kind of electric bicycle you're looking for, watch this video next. Catch you over there.